Hey besties! If this is the first time you've ever seen one of my videos, welcome and thank you so much for watching. Right now I'm going to Hobby Lobby and I'm gonna try to buy stuff because I'm trying to build my podcast studio in my living room because I want to have a podcast soon, hopefully, where I'm gonna talk about all kinds of topics, but I mostly want to do in like self-worth and like psychology. I want to talk about a little bit about everything. Maybe I'll have like people or something. I don't know. I've always wanted to do something like that. And so, yes, I need to buy some nice stuff to decorate. I don't know. I don't have anything in the walls of my apartment yet because I feel like just time has just gone by so quickly, and I've been mostly in like Philly with my boyfriend that I haven't really been here as much as I would want to so that I could decorate and everything. I moved here in like the beginning of July, I believe, and the reason why I left my last apartment was because I found a snake in my apartment. And so I was like, oh yeah, no girl, I found that snake and I was like, that was my thing to get out. I've been living there since like 2022 and I was very comfortable there because it was a small town, and honestly it was like so peaceful and everything, but a lot of things just started happening that I felt like the universe was telling me, girl, you need to leave. Girl, you need to leave. You need to get out of there. So I think the first thing that happened in that apartment was it was very nature based, I guess, since it was a small town and there was like a lot of parks and stuff. It was a lot of parks. It literally had one high school, one Walmart, and like a middle school and an elementary school and one other store, and it was just a small town. A lot of things happened. I was going out because I've been on a weight loss journey for the longest time, feels like. I was going and exercising at the park because the gym, they had one gym, literally one gym, and it was always full and it smelled bad and I just did not want to go there. But they had one gym, and mostly I like to exercise like outside just to like ground myself, I guess. And I would walk to the park because it was really close to my apartment. And one time I was walking back, and when I was walking back there was a group of like, I thought they were teenagers because I was like, oh, it's just because teenagers would just like be in a little group and all of them would be talking and stuff. And then I didn't see them. I saw them and I was like, oh, they're kids. But they weren't. They were like early 20s. A group of like 8 or 9 guys. And then I passed by there and I'm like, oh my God, hopefully everything's okay, because I was by myself. Women are never safe in any aspect in this world. I pass by and then they start walking like behind me a little bit, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I had my keys, and with my keys I had a pepper spray that I used to carry just in case, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna have to use my pepper spray. Like, it's literally the first time I'm gonna have to use my pepper spray. I had my headphones on, but I was so like focused on getting home, and they were just doing like catcalling me and like all of that, and I ended up like running back home. I don't really run because I'm like chubby. I don't know how I did it. I ended up like running all the way home, and I still had a ways to go. I ended up running home, getting in my apartment. I called my mom and I told her what happened, and I was like super like just anxious, and I thought that something was gonna happen to me, that they were gonna do something to me, and I didn't feel safe. I called my mom came, and it was just a really awful experience. It was very traumatic. They were like following me home and like catcalling me, but they were like at a distance, and they were like, yo, you want to hang out with us, like, girl, like this, I like my girls chubby, and like all these stupid things. I was like, no, like, leave me alone, like, no. And then I stood my ground, but they were still following me. Yeah, thankfully nothing happened. So after that, it left a poor taste in my mouth that I'm just like, I'm not even safe in my own small town. And I thought that I was, because there was a lot of police everywhere in this town. and police will literally pull you over for nothing. And I was like, oh, it's a very safe small town. Well, little did I know that a woman's not safe anywhere. Like, you will think, right? Like, girl, you're fat. Like, no one's gonna like mess with you. Like, no one's gonna. No, it doesn't matter. Like, a woman's not safe. So yeah, and that was the first thing that happened. And I should have known that was my cue to like get out. But I couldn't find another apartment, and I was trying to move out, and I couldn't find one that was like in the realm of possibilities for me, because the rent here in the town that I live in right now is extremely expensive ever since Elon Musk came and put his little rocket over here. Finding an apartment in my town right now, it was really, really hard. And so I was just like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with finding a new apartment, so I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. And if I have to be extra like careful or whatever. And then I went and I signed another lease at the office, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna put up with it until I can find a house. I go and I signed the lease, and this was at the end of June. And then they wanted to charge me like $200 if I didn't sign by like July, because they said that I had to be on a lease to like continue to pay what I paid, which was very cheap. And they wanted to charge me an extra like $250 if I wanted to stay on a month-to-month base. And I went and I signed it, and that was like, okay, I guess I had already made up in my mind, like, you're gonna stay here another year, it's gonna be okay. And then we went to the island. We went to celebrate something at the island. I don't know what we were celebrating, but anyways, we're coming back from the island, me and my sister, and it was on a Monday. So we're coming home from the island, and I walked into my apartment. So the way that my apartment was set up, it was like you walked in, it was a living room, the dining room, and then you walked in this hallway. It was a kitchen, a half bath, and then the 2 rooms, and then another bathroom. So I'm walking to my room, and I noticed that there was like a cloth thing in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I wonder if my sister left that there. Like, can you come over here? And she was like, what's up? I was like, is that yours? It looked like a cloth. I don't go outside, besties. Like, I don't go outside, and I don't know what snake skin is. So to me, it looked like a cloth. And so she's like, no, what is that? And I'm like, what is that? And then I'm like freaking out, because I get closer. I like get close to it. I'm about to touch it, and I'm like, that looks like snake. That looks like a snake. We both sort of like looked at each other, and we're like, girl, that looks like a damn snake. And I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, I thought, because like I said, I don't go outside, as you can tell. Thought that the snake was behind the stove. And I'll leave a picture here for the video, for the sake of this video, for context. I thought that the snake was behind the stove, and that it was somehow like releasing its skin and still attached to like the skin. I don't know how that works. I'm not nature's best friend. Before, I had gotten a bed frame that I had ordered off of Amazon. So they brought it over, and it stayed outside for like 20 minutes, but it had like a hole where it had broken out of the box. So I just brought it inside, and I didn't think anything of it. And I put tape over it just in case any animals, so that they wouldn't be roaming around in the apartment. So originally I was thinking it was that, but I was like, there's no way, because I literally put tape. So there's no way that the snake could have come from the box, right? And so at this point, me and Dana are kind of just looking at each other. We're looking back and forth, and we're like, we need to get out of here. And then she's like, call someone. And I call my boyfriend. What is he gonna do? He's not even here. I know. It's just sometimes I tend to be a little bit dramatic. I'm gonna be honest. I tend to be a little dramatic. And I need someone to ground me, to tell me, you're cuckoo for Cuckoo Pops and you're losing it, girl. My boyfriend seems to be the only one that can do that in my life. So I was calling him for not to fix it, but for reassurance. I called him and I was like, babe, I think there's a snake in my house. He's like, what do you mean? Like, what? I'm like, I think there's a snake. No, there's not. You're gonna be fine. There's not a snake. He's like, so he's the calmest mother trucker that there is. Props to my boyfriend because I'm dramatic, fiery, and everything. My boyfriend is calm as a stone. Like, he's so calm. And I'm like, there is a snake in my damn house. And he's like, no, there's not. Let me see. So I flip the camera around, right? Because we were on FaceTime. And he's like, Danny. I'm like, yeah. He's like, get the fuck out of there. And I'm like, so I'm not being dramatic. And he's like, no, that is snake skin. I'm like, I knew it. And then my sister was like, why are you calling him? Call someone that can help. And I'm like, okay. I just wanted reassurance. Like, I just needed that reassurance. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'll call you back. Let me call an exterminator. And he's like, okay, I'm going to call an exterminator too. Yeah, like, I'm going to look for exterminators and I'm going to call one and I'm going to send it out your way. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call my landlord to like, I'm going to call them just like to see if they can help me out. Or like if maintenance can come and like get rid of the snake in my apartment. We were like, okay, we all know what we're gonna do. Okay, fair enough. My sister was calling my brother. I was calling the landlord. My boyfriend was calling the exterminator in our area. Like, Dana, I think we should like get out of here though, because like we don't know where the snake is at. And we leave, we're in the car, and then I'm calling my landlord and I tell them, hey guys, like they don't have a 24/7 like maintenance people. It's mostly like during the weekdays and stuff. And so I tell, can you please send someone over? And then this is when I semi lost it. I'm a very patient person, but I almost lost it here. He says, well, we have to put in the order and it might take a few hours. And I'm like, boy, I don't have a few hours. There's a snake in my apartment. And he's like, okay. I'll tell them it's an emergency. And I'm like, okay, thank you. They might contact you tomorrow. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I lost it a little bit. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna call an exterminator myself. And it was a Monday or like it was like noon. My brother shows up because my sister was on the phone with him. He showed up in like 15 minutes. My brother, he's like, what happened? And I'm like, bro, there's a snake in my house. I found snake skin. And then he's like, oh, I gotta see this. Then my sister's like, oh, by the way, I left my backpack inside. Can you guys go inside and get the backpack? And I was like, okay, yeah. And he was like, okay, come with me so you can show me where like the snake skin is and everything. I go in with my brother and I showed him where the snake skin was. And he's like, oh yeah, bro, that is snake skin. That's so crazy and this and that. I was like, oh, so that's the noise that I was hearing. Because before we went to the island for the weekend, I heard something fall, like where the kitchen was, like right behind where the fridge is at. Because there was a closet there. I thought it was something from the closet that just fell. Because, you know, that apartment was kind of haunted a little bit. It's like, oh, it's just something falling. Maybe it wasn't even haunted. Maybe it was a damn snake. Anyways, so now I realized that it was a snake, because it sounded like something was like falling. And so yeah, my brother's like, wow, that's crazy. There is a snake here. He's like, we should probably get out. Just go to the living room and get the backpack so we can get out, because we don't know where it's at. And I'm like, okay. So then I go to the living room, I grab the backpack, and as I'm like leaning to get the backpack, I'm like, is that it over there? And in the corner of my living room, right next to the TV, there was a 6-foot black snake right there in all its glory in my living room. I don't even know what kind of snake it was, because I'm not an outside girly pop. It looked frightening. It looked venomous. So then my brother's like, holy shit. We both look at each other and we're like, well, at least we have eyes on it. The exterminator calls me probably like minutes after we saw the snake. And I was like, yo, we know where the snake is at. It's literally in my living room. Like we can see it. He's like, oh, okay. Are you by yourself? And I'm like, no, I have someone here. He's like, okay, can you keep an eye on the snake? My brother was brave enough to stay inside and just keep an eye on the snake while the exterminator came. We were just watching it. He took about an hour to get there. The snake was just there, minding its business. It was like it belonged there. And so the exterminator comes, and I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna get the snake, he's gonna capture it, and then he's gonna release it into the wild. When I called my landlord, they said, we're gonna call the animal control. So animal control is like, when I think about that, it's like, oh, they're gonna catch it and then they're gonna, release it into the wild, go out and into the sunshine. No, he came and killed it in my living room. He proceeds to tell me, like, it literally almost made me cry. He was like, oh, well, if it shredded its skin, that means that it was here to heal. When they shred their skin, they're very sensitive and anything can kill them. That's why it was here, because it was healing. But if it felt comfortable enough to shred its skin here, it means that it had been here for a while. And I'm like, okay, well, can you check my apartment just so we can rule out? He's like, you probably just left the door open. It probably just came in. I'm like, no. You don't understand. I don't leave the door open because I'm scared of that. I'm scared of like an animal coming into my apartment. So no, I don't leave the door open. I'm very cautious. He's like, okay, well, let me check it out. He's like, is there any holes in the wall? And I'm like, no, not that I know of. He started checking out everything. He's like, honestly, I don't see where it might have come in. Like, he checked under the sinks, he checked everywhere. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that there might be another one? Because if you can't tell me where it came from, then like, where is it coming from? There might be another one. Oh, mind you, he literally told me, yeah, this is the type of snake that eats the venomous ones, the venomous snakes. So I'm like, so that means that there could be another snake. He's like, not necessarily, but possibly. I'm like, that is not a no. That is not a no. Like, well, theoretically, there could be another snake that is potential. I was like, we killed the wrong snake? He's like, no, I mean, no, I don't think so. I think it was just that one. And I was like, well, you can't tell me where it came from? He's like, no, I honestly can't tell you where it came from. So my Mexican side was thinking brujeria. I'm thinking somebody's doing witchcraft on me, like freaking gente, like they're doing witchcraft or. And so I called my mom, right? And I told her, Ama, they don't know where it came from. And she's like, what do you mean they don't know where it came from? I'm like, no, Ama, they don't know where it came from. So there could be more and there could be another one. And she's like, no, you go back home to my parents' house. I'm like, I know, Ama, like I'm scared to sleep here. Like I don't want to be here. And so she's like, no. You're going to stay at our house. I'm not going to leave you there. What if there's another snake and it's venomous and it unalives you in your sleep? And I'm like, I know, Mom. Like, I'm scared. I really was. I was terrified. She's like, I'm about to get out of work. I'll be there in a little bit. I'm like, okay, Mom. I'll wait for you here. She gets out of work. And like a Mexican mom, literally, my mom is so extra, but I love her. I love how extra she is. I love Madre. She comes in with gloves. Mind you, gloves and a thing, like it was almost like those things that you use to pick up dog poop. She comes in with protective equipment, with gloves, the thing that you use to pick up dog poop. And she's like, I'm gonna find out. And she's determined. She goes in and she's like, I'm in mama bear mode. She's like starts checking everything, right? And then she checks like under everywhere. And then finally, air vent was, I had one of those air vents where it's a door and then it has the air conditioning. It's like central. She gets to the air vent and she opens the door and she spots it. And she My mom found it. Not even the exterminator besties. My mom. She's like, oh, it's right there. This was so easy. I don't know why he didn't tell you. I'm like, what is right there? She's like, look, there's a big ass hole up there. Sometimes snakes can get in through there, and I can tell you that this snake came through that air vent because it had like a hole. The air vent, the filter, you know how in like apartments you have to change the filter with those types of air vents. So every month I had to change the filter. And so there was literally a hole, like something went through that in the filter. And I don't even know how it got out because it had the vent. But yeah, there was a hole there. Whoa, like literally there was a hole. It was like this open, the air vent. Like it struggled to get out of the vent. So and there was snake skin in there. So at that point, as you can understand, I was freaking the fuck out. Because I was like, well, I don't even know if there's more. She put something in the air vent to prevent it from opening more. She's like, no, you gotta get out of here. Like, I don't trust this. She's like, okay, start looking for an apartment or go back home, go back to live with us. Like, you can't stay here. And my mom, I start like packing everything. As soon as that happened that night, I started packing everything and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not staying here. And mind you, I've been living there for 3 years. Every day from there, I was packing like all my stuff. One of the days that I went, because I didn't want to be alone in the apartment anymore. Like I was terrified of being alone in that apartment because I was like, what if there's a snake? What if it like bites me? What if like, I don't know, something happens? I kept telling myself like, no, because you have to go and pack your stuff. You can't be scared of this. Like it is frightening, but I was like, it's something that you have to face. You have to do this. Like it's just gonna be for a couple of days and then you're gonna be all out of there, because I didn't even want to stay the night. One of the days that I went there and I was packing my stuff, I literally heard noises in the air vent, meaning that there were more snakes. So yeah. I went to the office. And I took photos of the snake, took photos of where it came from, like the air vent, took photos of everything, because I was like, one of my best friends is a lawyer. So I was like, if they don't want to give me my security deposit back, because my security deposit was 1 month's rent, which is really high. So I called up my friend and I was like, Rick, I'm having this problem. Like, I need some advice. He was like, oh, what the heck? Okay, this is going to be like so easy to get you out of there and for them to give you your security deposit, because you can literally sue them. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, I don't want to sue them. I just want to get out of there and get my security deposit, and that's it. Like, I just want to get out of the new lease, because the new lease hadn't even like started yet. It's gonna be really easy, but I'm at work right now. Let me just take care of this and I'll call you back. He ends up calling me. Like, shout out to Ricky for being the realist. Like, I love him so much, because he was like, I was literally on the phone with like one client and like I forgot that I told you that I was gonna call you back. He gave me this whole argument that I could do. He told me like they have to let you off the lease. And they did send my landlord a very well drafted email, basically stating the reasons why I want to leave. And they let me off the lease. Like, it was easy. They even told me, like, it's so sad to see good tenants go. Like, you've been with us for a long time. We apologize that this happened. Like, we totally understand you don't feel safe anymore. And I was like, yeah, I don't feel safe. But yeah, they ended up giving me my security deposit like 2 weeks after. So in that sense, they ended up being very reasonable. I mean, I guess it was because I could have sued them for my health and safety. As long as they gave me my security deposit, I wasn't interested in pursuing any legal battles and just all of that. They weren't the best landlords, but they always took care of things, like eventually, you know. It's not as good as the one I am in right now, because they literally have a 24-hour maintenance thing. But I mean, right now I'm paying a little bit extra, but I'd rather pay extra and not have any snakes in my house. But yeah, anyways, that's the story about I had to move out of my apartment because it got infested by snakes. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm gonna be making videos. Like I said, my podcast is coming soon. I'm gonna be keep on making videos. I don't know. It's just I want to grow this community. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.